10 seconds. Here we go. It's out. Raising guidance. HIMS is also out. HIMS numbers for Q2 looking bad. HIMS Q1 number massive. Start here with Palantir. Just give us the number. Revenue 883. It's a little light. I think that's a little light. Not great. Let's look at guidance. Guidance 934 to 938. Guidance is pretty good. It's pretty good. Palantir's I'd say a wash. Let's go to HIMS. HIMS massive beat, 586. Unbelievable number there. Insanely high. But consensus for next quarter, they guided very conservatively. They didn't raise for the year. So HIMS definitely not good. Not raising guidance for the year. Pretty bearish for HIMS after having a monster quarter. Palantir, they raised, but the quarter was meh. You know, we're used to bigger beats from Palantir. But I'll tell you that guidance for Q2 is really massive. So, like I said, something of a wash. They usually beat that guidance too. So, you know, I could see them coming in at, let's see, where's the guidance again? They're saying 934 to 938. So if they come in at 940, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think HIMS might trade down. It was a big beat, but not raising the full year is a little scary. Yeah, the sales, the selling vol worked out, I think. Buy right's really great too. Guidance is important. If you beat like 50 million and you don't raise your guidance by 50 million, what the fuck? You gotta raise the guidance, man. Okay, funny. They gave a 2030 number of $6.5 billion in revenue. Wow, yeah, that's a little ambitious. It's not too ambitious. I could probably conservative numbers. I don't know. I don't see Palantir going up a lot more than this. It's not that good. This is not that good. The valuation demands more. Let's see. So guidance went from 374 to 389 because they raised it by 150. Yeah, looks like they raised it by 150. That's not much. That's not enough to support this valuation. I would sell Palantir. I would sell HIMS too. Yeah, I'm selling both. Let's go. Okay, we're shorting HIMS right now. Sorry, HIMS guys, I love you. Prices are a little delayed here. Ah, I missed it. Fucking thing went down straight $3. All right, HIMS were in, Palantir were in. I missed Palantir too. Fuck, man. Okay, HIMS, we got some off at 41.70. Trading is wild right now. Palantir, we're trying to get a little off here. No disrespect to my friends who helped start the company or anything. This is just a trading thing. It's a great company. Both are great companies. Who told you? Did Shkreli tell you? I think Shkreli told you.
Order filled.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Okay, Palantir rising back up a little bit. We're short at 121, and we're short HIMS at 41.72. Comfortable with both. Guidance, you know, you don't just beat by that much. You beat by 50 and you don't raise guidance even by 50. It's a little scary. And the Q2 number is really, really light. They're guiding Q2 below consensus, man. You don't do that. That's not funny. You're joking, right? That's not, huh? It's not funny, man. It's not funny. Don't do that. Palantir, I think on a relative basis, did much better. Problem with Palantir is you've got a valuation that's just out of control. The guidance for Palantir is immaculate. You know, this is a huge number they're guiding to for Q2, but you know, you're still talking about a 40% revenue growth company. I wanted to see 900 on the sales to get excited, and it's just not enough. And again, it's not the company's fault. It's a brilliant company, but they did too well. You know, when you do that well, when you have a 300 billion market cap, you better beat the revenue number by 10 or 20 million. They beat their guidance by 10 or 20 million, but they didn't beat what the whisper number and the kind of mind meld consensus was. And 900 would have shocked and awed, to use a military term. But 880 just kind of, we want to see shock and awe at $121 a share. At $80 a share, that would have been a good beat. At $120 a share, I need to see 900. But I'll tell you, on the flip side, though, the guidance is shock and awe. They're guiding well above consensus, which means they're also going to beat that, right? They usually guide such that they beat. So, you know, I think they'll do fine. It's just, you know, it's the current quarter was a little light. I think Palantir did better than HIMS. I mean, I think Palantir could be flat, you know, but I think HIMS has to take a little cool down here. Well, HIMS has been on its ass, right? So, you know, you just have to sort of measure the expectations just right and have the zeitgeist and your finger on that pulse of what people really care about. And I think Palantir was just a little touch lighter than you thought. And you care about current business conditions. And clearly their March was good enough for them, or I should say March, their April was good enough for them to guide where they guided to in Q2. But if you look at the guidance increase, you know, it's fairly nominal. So, you know, nothing that you wouldn't expect already from a company trading at 80 times sales. And again, HIMS kind of a little pathetic not raising for the full year, and a little rough with the Q2 number being so light. Great number for Q1 though, but it's kind of what we thought it would be. Everyone thought Q1 would be great, but then the Q2 slowdown makes you wonder, and then not raising full year really makes you wonder. You're basically saying, I'm going to borrow, you know, the $50 million beat we had from next quarter, which is not great. So, you know, you might have expected more, especially out of a Novo deal, et cetera. So we'll have to listen to the call and see what they have to say for themselves on that. Probably, again, still really great long-term company. But when you're dealing in the trenches, trench warfare of trading, yeah, I don't think either company really impressed here. Again, Palantir slightly better than him, so, you know, really, really nice. Really nice guidance. And, you know, they still beat, technically. They beat the consensus, but to me, that's like an inline beat, if that makes sense. So again, you know, at this level of sales, I want shock and awe. and I didn't get it. At this level of sales, I want shock and awe, and I didn't get it. So, you know, it doesn't mean it won't go up tomorrow. It doesn't mean it won't go up tonight, but, you know, without the shock and awe, the Q2 is shock and awe though, so. Hood is funny because, you know, the company's got 100% plus revenue growth. You're saying we're not impressed. I think the only unimpressive part is why are we not getting the Q2 number that's that great? And why are we not getting a guidance increase for the full year? Certainly, the current quarter was amazing. And you're kind of getting the opposite with Palantir, where the current quarter was good or great, but people expected amazing. And the guidance is amazing when people expected good or great. This is a tough game, man. Tough game. And the tone on the calls will matter a lot. All right, let's see if we can divine anything from balance sheets here. Palantir. Start here. Make sure you sign up for Godel Terminal. This is my handmade terminal for replacing Bloomberg. Interest income was a little lighter for Palantir this quarter, which I think some of the bears wanted to see that. Depending on your perspective, want to see more of it or less of it, but the more interest income they make, I kind of think that it cheapens the story a little. Let's look at cost control here, net of stock-based comp. Because stock-based comp is one of these weird things. I think you can exclude it as long as you know you're excluding it. I do trade low beta stocks. I tried to trade low beta stocks. Preserve my blood pressure. All right, so amazing cost control here. Palantir more profitable than ever. Incredible margins. But let's look at this balance sheet and see if we can learn anything here. All right, deferred revenue. I don't think deferred revenue is the same for them as it is for other software companies, but let's see if we can see if there's any clues here. Well, last Q4, deferred revenue dropped quarter over quarter, and here it grew substantially, so that could be why they're so confident in next quarter. Customer deposits. Okay. Cash flow for this first inaugural quarter, 310. You know, actually a little lighter than I thought it would be, to be fair. I wanted cash flow in the fives, but, you know, there are a lot of moving parts to cash flow. You get bills that come in and stuff like that. It's just part of the game. So I'm sure we'll get that cash flow next quarter. Oh yeah, this is the record cash flow quarter, so there's nothing to be too upset about. But you add stock-based comp back, stock-based comp not growing very much, which, you know, I tell all the haters for Palantir that, you know, who are like, it's so much stock-based comp. And I'm like, look, as a company slows down its growth or gets very big, stock-based comp actually will drop. I mean, that's not unusual. If you've ever run a business, you know how that works. If you ever had the pleasure of running a business that grew very quickly, which not many people have on the scale of Palantir, at least. Okay, so there it is, 310. Last quarter was 130 cash flow. Palantir doesn't do CapEx, so that's free cash flow right there. Checking in on the stocks, we got HIMS down 2%, Palantir down 3%. I shorted Palantir at, let's see, we got HIMS at 41.72. We got Palantir at 121. So small plus for both, but yeah, let's look at the presentations too. Contract value and things like that. Palantir, yeah, nothing wrong. No red flags. Nothing bad about the company in any way, shape, or form. Just one of these things where, the company's gotten so successful that the immediate reaction for some traders may be a little bit of bearishness. In the long run, totally different scenario. Again, a lot of friends involved in the company don't want to act like there's something bad about Palantir. I guess the results aren't yet up on here. Is it too early?
Another one. Another one.
Palantir is one of those stocks where it'll be down 10% after so earnings, and the next day it'll just mysteriously climb up a bunch. HIMS is at the end of the day a pharmacy. It's the best digital pharmacy, but it's still a pharmacy, and the growth is incredible. But again, why? Where is the Q2 growth and where's the full year growth? And maybe we're just protesting too much, I guess. We got some ontology. Do you guys know ontology languages? There's RDF schema. There's OWL, which is ontology web language. There's Tim Berners-Lee, who was a big ontology guy. He thought the ontology would create the semantic web. We have debates in our office whether you can represent ontology completely with JSON or you need a ontology language. Ontology language certainly makes it easier. I bet you Palantir could go back to sub 100. No fault of Palantir. HIMS is a little more. HIMS had been beaten up for a long time. These are both good companies. It's kind of like when you have a crowded It's like a crowded train or something. It's not fun to be on a crowded train. RGC is a manipulated microcap, Chinese microcap, so don't worry about that one. All right, HIM's supposedly the gross margin wasn't good. Let's take a look. We miss Harambe every day. Yeah, HIM's margin was kind of ugly. 73%. That's the lowest margin it's had in a while. And that's one of the fears. So how do you run a pharmacy with 70% margins? You know, Walgreens barely run a pharmacy with 20% margins. So sourcing is a little tough to do when there's usually one seller. You don't have economies of scale. So margins there are a little scary. Yeah, Weight Watchers had some problems. There's a mobile view. We don't have a mobile app. We're mostly intended for people who sit and trade at their desk all day. But there will be. I don't know if Alex can say anything. I mean, look, it's a great company. I mean, there may be people who want to buy Palantir on a discount and buy it today, but I think the dynamic environment we're in means that real results are more important, a little more important than guidance. And guidance can change. Real results cannot. So I don't know if HIMS has room for GLP because ultimately a whole bunch of pharmacies got GLP, not just them. This is a HIMS shareholder letter. TTM free cash flow for HIMS is now 230. So you're talking about 38 times earnings for a company that's that's growing 100%. Or unfortunately, we can say did grow 100%. Now, what are they guiding to? It's kind of atrocious. They're guiding to 530 to 550. So let's assume they do 560. I mean, 77% growth is still pretty robust. Hard to get 40 times earnings. They're growing faster than Palantir at a much lower multiple. Palantir's obviously a very different kind of company, but Palantir taking it on the chin now. Maybe thinking about covering HIMS and going long at some point here. I just don't know what that deal looks like with Novo, and the fact that they didn't raise guidance. I'm less concerned now with the Q2 number. The Q2 number is still decent, but the gross margin drop, not raising. For the full year, I mean, they're not too far from consensus. Consensus is 565. They guided to, yeah, I still don't like it. I still don't like HIMS. I'd sell it. For the short term, if you care about that kind of thing. Palantir's just wasn't enough. I mean, when you're trading at this kind of valuation, you better shoot the lights out. No, not providing guidance makes it even worse, I think. This process by which, all of us sit and trade it back and forth kind of makes the price really, really accurate. I know a lot of people think Palantir is wildly overvalued, but these kinds of little backs and forths help quite a bit. Yeah, it's surprising they did not raise. They did increase the EBITDA margin, so that tells you a little bit about what the Novo deal might look like. Tricky. Maybe time to cover Palantir too. Shall we? Did you guys do it with me? If you did it with me, you made like 6%. All right, I'm covering it. Fuck it. Out at 113. 121 to 113. Let me do one of these. Thank you. You're far too kind. Just a lucky guess on my part, I guess. Oh, what's that? Is that for me? Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much. You guys want to know, I had a special analyst help me with this today. Guess who it was? No.
And his name is John C.
Yeah, okay, so Palantir getting smoked. I don't know if it keeps going or not. I kind of feel like it depends on the rest of the tape. I still think it's probably going to outperform the rest of the tape. It's too strong. Strong with a K. Him's straddle sale looks pretty good right now. It's like the ideal trade would have been the straddle sale. Hims was expecting a 20% move. What the F? That was like the best straddle sale ever. Palantir straddle sales look a little... You don't like my level of humor? Okay. Tell you what, hit that little X button, buddy. All right?